What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports. I'm back to you guys with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals impact players for the 2019 NFL season. So, the first player that I have on this list is quarterback Kyler Murray. Now, the Arizona Cardinals made him the first overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft. Then they went on to trade quarterback Josh Rosen, and he fits pretty perfectly into the Cliff Kingsbury offense. I mean, he's a smart quarterback. Um, has a very good arm, very good accuracy, and he has mobility, which is a plus. So he should be able to run this air raid offense pretty effectively, which is a bonus because when we go back to the Chip Kelly era, right? Chip Kelly really wanted Marcus Mariota because a spread offense is at its best when you have a mobile quarterback at the helm who not only is very accurate and good with the ball, but also is very athletic. And we never really got the opportunity to see that with Chip Kelly because the most athletic quarterback he had was Colin Kaepernick. But imagine if he was able to get Marcus Mariota. That would have been a pretty interesting thing to see. So Kyler Murray has the athletic ability, has the arm talent. The question is there going to be enough talent around him? Which I think he's going to have a pretty decent amount of talent to work with on that Arizona Cardinals offense, even though most of the players are fairly young, but he does have some veterans on that offense as well. So my expectation for Kyler Murray is he most likely should win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Other than Josh Jacobs, Kyler Murray is in the best situation. He's in the air raid offense, which is going to inflate his stats dramatically if we go back to the effect that air raid offense has on college offenses when it comes to the passing yards and whatnot. So Kyler Murray could be in for a very big rookie season. If you're a fantasy owner, you have to be looking at Kyler Murray as a very good option. Not a second round, third rounder, but a guy who you can get in the fourth round of your fantasy drafts because he's going to put up a lot of fantasy points because he's just going to be throwing the ball, running the ball. So he's going to have a lot of opportunity to get a lot of stats in fantasy football leagues. The next player that I have on this list is halfback David Johnson. Now, David Johnson had a disappointing season last year coming off of that injury. He had 940 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, and was averaging 3.6 yards per carry. And the big reason why was because he didn't have a good offensive line, man. And plus, it doesn't help when your quarterback position isn't really that good neither. So they were just trying to give him the ball. The offensive coordinator that they hired at the beginning of the year couldn't even find ways to get this guy the ball. Then, Byron Leftwich came in. I mean, he tried, but the offensive line was just so doggone bad. And I think the offensive line, yeah, it's a little bit improved, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's either I think the only thing that saves us off of the line is the Cliff Kingsbury system and how effectively he's able to get the ball out. And then the air raid offense, man, is kind of interesting to see because in the air raid, we don't really see a bunch of in college. We didn't really see a bunch of running backs in these air raid offenses going over 1,000 yards and stuff like that. So he's most likely going to be involved in the pass catching game, which is one of his strengths because people talk about Le'Veon Bell being able to line up wide and also having good hands and whatnot, but David Johnson can pretty much do the same thing. So interesting to see how David Johnson translates into this Cliff Kingsbury offense. So I don't really have a projection for David Johnson stats wise, but I'm taking he's most likely going to be used more as a pass catcher because we don't really know, man. I'm just going by college and what this air raid offense is. And college, they don't really run the ball like 20 times a game and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Cliff Kingsbury adapts that. But I think David Johnson is going to be more used as a receiving back more than anything because the way that the air raid offense is set up. So the next player that we have on this list is old reliable Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald last season had 734 receiving yards, 69 receptions, and 6 touchdowns. When you look at the quarterback position, Josh Rosen wasn't really that good his rookie year. That was very impressive, man. If he actually had a real quarterback back there, not saying Josh Rosen is bad or anything. I think he has a lot of potential, but last season was not a good season. And if he would have had any other quarterback, Larry Fitzgerald would have had 1,000 receiving yards. and he would have went to the Pro Bowl. So Larry Fitzgerald this season, I think he won't have 1,000 yards. I think he'll have 900 receiving yards. He'll probably have about 70 receptions because he probably, to me, has the best hands on that team, and also he's a smart wide receiver, which is a big part of the air raid offense because you have to adjust your routes on the fly. So I think he's going to have about 900 receiving yards. I'll say about 70, 75 receptions, and he'll have 5 touchdowns. And I think he'll most likely will make it to the Pro Bowl, being a fan favorite and having pretty solid stats because he made it to the Pro Bowl the year before, having similar stats like that. So Larry Fitzgerald is going to have a big impact on this Arizona Cardinals offense because how smart he is. And football IQ is a big part of this air raid offense, man. You got to be able to adjust your routes to what the defense is playing, what coverage is, and whatnot. So, Larry Fitzgerald is going to have an opportunity to thrive in this Cliff Kingsbury offense. Next up, we have wide receiver Christian Kirk. Now, Christian Kirk had a lot of home run passes from Josh Rosen. So last season he had 590 receiving yards, 43 receptions, and 3 touchdowns. Christian Kirk has potential to become a very good deep threat in the NFL. And I think in this Cliff Kingsbury offense, he's going to take advantage of it. I believe this season he's going to have over 1,000 yards. He'll probably have 80 receptions. I think he's going to have more targets than Larry Fitzgerald, to be honest, because in this air raid offense, man, they are not afraid to let it rip in this air raid offense. I think he's going to have like 80 receptions. Don't be surprised if he even comes close to 100. And he'll probably have 8 touchdowns. And now I know that might be a lot of high expectations for a guy going into his second year. But you have to look at the offense and you have to take into account the system and how well these players fit into this system. Christian Kirk, ladies and gentlemen, could be in for a very big 2019 season. The last player we have on this list was the Arizona Cardinals second round pick, wide receiver Andy Isabella. This is a very slippery, very slimy guy. Very good with the ball in his hands, has very good hands. He reminds me a lot of Wes Welker, but faster. This guy is blazing fast. He can beat you over the top, has good enough hands to make those tough catches across the middle. He just reminds me a lot of Wes Welker, but more faster and more athletic. Um, Andy Isabella, man, I think he's going to have a big part of this Arizona Cardinals offense because he's a smart wide receiver. He's also very fast, so he's going to be catching a bunch of passes from Kyler Murray across the middle. I don't think he's going to have the production that Christian Kirk is going to have. I think he'll probably have about 700 receiving yards, probably have about 50, 40 receptions, somewhere around that range, and he'll probably have about 4 touchdowns at most. And this is because I don't think he'll mostly because once you get into the red zone, it's kind of hard to find a way to get the guy like Andy Isabella the ball other than slant passes and stuff like that. You probably want to go to your bigger guys on the team like Hakeem Butler and Larry Fitzgerald and stuff like that when you get into the red zone. So I think Andy Isabella is going to put up pretty solid stats from a rookie wide receiver standpoint. And now we move on to the defense side of the ball. Cornerback Patrick Peterson, who just got suspended as the day I'm making this video. He's going to be missing the first of his games. So Byron Maxwell or somebody else is going to have to step up. Don't have Byron Maxwell on this list. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Don't troll me in the comment section. But Patrick Peterson had 54 tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 pass deflections, and 1 fumble recovery. And Patrick Peterson, according to AJ Green, is the best corner that he's ever faced in all his years playing football. Patrick Peterson is going to have a big impact on his Arizona Cardinals defense when he gets back. Byron Murphy most likely is going to be the guy stepping in. And when Patrick Peterson comes back, he's going to make that defense a lot better alongside Byron Murphy. We don't know how good Byron Murphy is going to be, but I'm taking Byron Murphy is going to be average at best. I think he's going to have Josh Jackson like season because Josh Jackson, he was very up and down. I think that's how Byron Murphy is going to be. He's going to have some great performances. He's going to have some terrible performances. But Patrick Peterson coming back, being that young mentor, being that big mentor to the younger player in Byron Murphy, I think that's going to have effect on this defense. And also, you got to look at the secondary. Buda Baker is one of the best safeties in the NFL, despite last season not being his best from his 2017 season when he made All Pro. Pretty solid safety back there. And Patrick Peterson, one of the best in the NFL, one of the best cornerbacks maybe to ever play the game as of right now, man. So Patrick Peterson, when he comes back from his suspension, going to have a very big part of this Arizona Cardinals defense. Next up, we have linebacker Terrell Suggs. Terrell Suggs, they picked him up in free agency after being let go by the Baltimore Ravens. Last season, he had 34 tackles and 7 sacks with the Ravens. And this year, I think he's going to take. I think he's going to regress. I don't think he's going to have 7 sacks. I think he'll probably have 5 or 4, and I think he'll probably regress. He's still a very solid player, but I just don't think he's going to have the production he had with Baltimore. 4 or 5 sacks isn't bad for a guy his age, but I think now at the age that he is now, probably going to be slowing down a lot, and I think he'll probably be playing only about 1, 2 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals. I think this year he'll have a moderate impact on the defense, but I just don't think he's going to have a huge impact. And the last player that I have on this list is linebacker Jordan Hicks, who played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He had 91 tackles, 3 sacks, 5 pass deflections, and 1 fumble recovery. I think he's going to be a solid addition to that Arizona Cardinals linebacking core, along with Terrell Suggs. They got veteran guys at that linebacker position, so I'm not really much worried about that. Their Arizona Cardinals defense, the only thing I'm really worried about is the defensive line. How much pressure they're going to actually be able to get on the quarterback is my biggest question and my biggest concern, because they have veteran guys, but they don't have any elite pass rushers on that defensive line besides Chandler Jones. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to work. But I mean, Jordan Hicks, he's pretty solid in coverage, a pretty solid linebacker. He'll probably be playing middle linebacker this year for the Arizona Cardinals. Pretty solid there. And the last player that I have on this list is safety Buda Baker. Now, Buda Baker took a little bit of a step back compared to his All Pro season that he had a year before. He had 102 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 pass deflection, and 2 fumble recoveries. Still one of the best safeties in the NFL. Pretty much underrated in my opinion. He took a little bit of a step back, but I think that was just more of the Arizona Cardinals defense being not good as a whole, and that's why he kind of took a step back. But overall, he's a very good player, one of the better safeties in the NFL. And I think he's going to have a bounce back year. I think he's going to get back to that Pro Bowl, All Pro production this season now with the additions of Byron Murphy and when Patrick Peterson comes back. So I think he's going to be pretty good this year. And you guys let me know about this list down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching. What's up, everybody? JT Sports, and I'm back. Forgot Chandler Jones, man. I don't know how I forgot Chandler Jones, but I forgot. So I'm adding him on to this list before people start going rampaging crazy in the comment section. Chandler Jones, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, had 49 tackles, 13 sacks last season. One of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Um, and he's going to basically be, in my opinion, the best player on this Arizona Cardinals defense while Patrick Peterson is serving his 6-game suspension. And I'm expecting a big year out of him. I'm expecting him to probably have about 15 sacks or more. I think he's going to have that kind of a season. And now with the addition of Terrell Suggs, maybe that should open up some more pass rushing lanes for Terrell Suggs and the other younger guys. But almost forgot Chandler Jones, man. And that's it for this video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.